You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10 with your award-winning news team. John Huddleston, weather with Richard Scott, and sports with Gary Harris.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. For the past 2 weeks, the Tuscaloosa Police Department has been on the lookout for a man who they suspect committed 5 armed robberies. Today, their search came to an end. WVUA's Taylor Sanders has more in tonight's top story.
In 22 years, it's happened 4 times.
Jerry Baggett, owner of Roadway Inn on East Skyland Boulevard, says he couldn't be more happy to finally see the man who allegedly robbed his motel put behind bars.
I couldn't be more thrilled because I don't have anything for anybody that tries to take stuff that doesn't belong to them.
The Tuscaloosa Police Department has been on the lookout for 24-year-old Cedric Thomas, the man who they say robbed not only the Roadway Inn, but 2 Kangaroo gas stations and 2 store clerks. Wednesday, Thomas's luck ran out.
He was charged with 5 counts of armed robbery, which is robbery in the first degree. He robbed 30 different businesses in Tuscaloosa, and on 2 of the occasions when he was at the business, he also took property or cash from the clerks. Whenever you have somebody who is committing armed robberies, obviously 3 different incidences where 5 different victims, and so it's good to get that off the street.
And as for Baggett, he's glad Thomas has finally been caught.
We have a good camera system, and you know, hopefully that the message will get out and they'll go somewhere else.
Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Taylor Sanders, WVUA News.
Thomas remains in jail tonight. He is being held on a $300,000 bond. Well, today marks 14 months since the deadly EF4 tornado that tore through Tuscaloosa. Since that time, recovery has been slow but steady across the city. Now recovery is speeding up. The area near 15th Street and McFarland Boulevard has seen significant growth over the past several months. Express Oil Change and Hokkaido have made big leaps in rebuilding, and Schlotsky's Deli has recently broken ground on their new location. Mayor Walt Maddox says there is a good reason for the seemingly slow pace of recovery.
The type of development that comes back is going to be strategically located to serve this community for decades to come. And from the very beginning, this council chose a very wise path, and that's to get it right. And I think you're beginning to see the seeds of that that were planted are beginning to grow, and it's going to mean a vibrant future, not only now, but for years to come.
City officials expect to have more projects coming up within the next 18 to 24 months. Well, let's get a first check on Alabama's home team forecast. For that, here's Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. Richard, good evening.
Hey, John, good Wednesday evening, too. Temps are still mild tonight, 78 in the city of Tuscaloosa. A little cooler than we were this time last night, so temperatures are cooling on off. 81 back in Birmingham, 80 in Jasper as well as Warrior, and 80 down in Perry County, the city of Marion. Southeast, hey, we're dry. No rain talk about, no cloud cover. We will stay dry through your pre-4th of July weekend plans. And here's our Thursday's forecast. It gets hotter than today. I think we're up to 95 as early as lunch, 4 o'clock. Yeah, close to 100. Another very hot day, a scorcher across the area. It gets even hotter for the rest of the week. How hot it's going to get, and how about that weekend forecast? Weather is straight ahead.
All right, Rich, you're seeing a little bit. Well, have you been noticing an increasing amount of traffic on McFarland Boulevard lately? It is due to routine maintenance being done on the Woolsey-Fennell Bridge. The work has to be done at least once every 2 years. But as Courtney Highfield reports, drivers are wondering why it can't be done at a more convenient time.
Residents of Tuscaloosa aren't strangers to the heavy traffic on McFarland Boulevard, and the current maintenance being done on the Woolsey-Fennell Bridge just adds to the already congested area.
Well, it has caused me to be late for work, lunch hour late, getting back to from lunch to work.
And it isn't just the traffic that worries residents. It's the response of the drivers around them.
I wonder whether or not the other drivers are going to behave properly.
But the real question is there a more convenient time to do the maintenance?
I think they should do it like, I have seen workers work like starting like at 10 o'clock at night and working to like maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the mornings when the traffic isn't so bad.
So I do understand that maintenance is a necessary evil. It probably would be best if the money permits to do this maintenance at night. It would be cooler for the workers, safer for the drivers.
Although the maintenance is causing more backups than usual, it does need to be done to keep drivers safe. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Courtney Highfield, WVUA News.
And the bridge is back open tonight, and traffic is flowing smoothly at this hour. We contacted the Alabama Department of Transportation, but they declined our request for an on-camera interview. Well, today marks 1 month until the 2012 London Olympic Games, which means it has been almost 4 years since a local legend was born. Tuscaloosa native Deontay Wilder won the bronze medal in boxing in the 2008 Beijing Games, and since that time, he's prospered in his professional career. WVUA's Travis Leader caught up with the bronze bomber as he reflected back on how it all began.
The bronze bomber Deontay Wilder says he went to Beijing as an underdog, but came out the top dog in American boxing.
I overcame all that. I conquered all that. You know, not only did I make the team, but I was the only one to medal out of the whole United States team. So that was a big deal for me.
But Wilder says his Olympic experience isn't the reason he is enjoying professional success.
I definitely feel that I'll still be an undefeated fighter. I definitely feel that I'll still be one of the talkable prospects in the division just because of my hard work and will. You know, I don't settle for less.
The bronze bomber takes good care of his medal as it's securely stored in a lockbox. But the undefeated boxer is still seeking some more prized possessions, which he believes would signify the pinnacle of his career.
Against this short notice opponent, how did he stand up to that right hand? He didn't stand up to that one, and look at the way Raybot is laid out.
I want to be the undisputed heavyweight champ of the world, so that, by that being said, you have to attain all the belts in the division. I want that, and I think that'll definitely set. As far as my prior possession has been a boxer, that'll set it over the charts.
As for the next 4 years, Wilder does hope to become the undisputed heavyweight champ, but he also paints a rather modest picture of what the future looks like.
Motivating others, you know, giving back to the community, talking to youth. Basically the same things that I'm doing now, you know, just a little bit, just my pockets a little bit more fatter.
Wilder's next step, get in as many fights as he can this year, get into the top 10, and then fight for the title next year. Reporting in Northport, Travis Leader, WVUA News.
And like we mentioned, the 2012 Olympic Games begin in 1 month's time. Here you can see a view of the Tower Bridge, where 5 super-sized Olympic rings now hang the internationally recognized symbol of the Olympics. More than 10,000 athletes will compete for medals. Well, with summer underway, many families are heading off for vacations, but what if you can't afford a costly trip? Ever thought about a staycation? There are inexpensive things for families to do in Tuscaloosa. Some even allow you to beat the heat and exercise your mind at the same time. The Children's Hands-On Museum, for example, has numerous activities, and don't be confused by the name. There is fun to be had for all ages.
Well, it's cooling off, but it's also, we have activities where you learn through play. It's not just an activity for activity's sake. Usually there's something educational within it, such as next week we'll be learning about weather. This week we're learning about aquatic life and the different animals that live in the oceans. So there's always a little educational factor in all the little activities that we do.
And the museum will hold a special 4th of July blast on July 3rd featuring free food and a DJ. You can link to their webpage through ours. Just go to WVUATV.com and click on numbers and links. Well, graduating from college is a huge milestone for anyone, and especially for our very own Arthur Gay. Now, we first told you Arthur's story back when he graduated from Alabama in May. He's 67 years old and has been working on his degree since 2003. But listen to this. When Arthur got home from work last night, he was handed an envelope that was sent from the Alabama Senate. He was shocked when he opened it because inside was a letter from the state recognizing him for his hard work while he's been in school. They congratulated him for sticking with it even when things got hard. Gay says he hopes others thinking about continuing their education will hear his story.
If I can motivate, inspire someone else to do the same, then that's a reward in itself.